You know the exact feeling. You're staring at the blank page of a resignation letter or hovering your cursor over the launch button for a new business. Your stomach drops, your palms sweat, and the ground feels far away. When you ask for advice in that moment, half the people in your life will offer you caution. They suggest a dozen backup plans, essentially wrapping you in layers of protective padding so thick that you lose the mobility to actually move forward. The other half tells you to just jump and build the parachute on the way down. They push you over the edge with zero preparation, treating blind recklessness as a valid substitute for strategy. Neither option works. You need a developmental space where taking a risk does not require a dangerous freefall, and where staying safe does not force you to stand completely still. This diagram illustrates those two extremes. On one side, you have an immovable solid block. It's perfectly safe, but you're stuck at the bottom. On the other side, a sheer vertical drop. You might get airtime, but the landing will crush you. The alternative is constructing a scaffold. This creates a structure that catches you if you slip, while still allowing you to climb without losing your footing. Building that psychological scaffold is difficult to do alone. A generic chatbot or a standard software tool won't work because they do not understand the emotional weight of taking a risk. You need a highly specific kind of thinking partner. Overcoming the paralysis of the edge requires two things happening at once. You have to bring the courage to jump, and you have to know with absolute certainty that someone is holding a tested safety net. To find the ideal models for that net, we have to look back nearly a century. The blueprint comes from the human craftsmanship behind a very specific piece of classic literature. The characters in A.A. Milne's original Winnie the Pooh stories endure because they represent universal human emotional needs, perfectly balanced against one another. For the purpose of navigating professional risk, two of these figures provide the exact psychological counterweights we require: Kanga and Roo. Kanga operates on protective wisdom. She is the grounding, patient force. She has already looked down, measured the potential fall, and determined that you can handle the impact. Roo provides the necessary friction to that caution. He brings a high-energy curiosity and an absolute eagerness to leap directly into the unknown. Isolate caution, and you stagnate. Isolate impulse, and you crash. But when you synthesize Kanga's patience and Roo's momentum into a single conversational dynamic, you create an environment perfectly calibrated for ambitious problem-solving. This dual dynamic is coded into the Nurturing Growth Protocol. When you load this lens into Claude, ChatGPT, or Gemini, it takes over the AI's standard operational behavior. The protocol changes how the system processes a mistake. Instead of treating failure as a catastrophic endpoint, the AI categorizes it as routine data collection. When you stumble, the dual response mechanism activates. First, Kanga provides the emotional scaffolding. The AI absorbs the initial shock of the mistake, refuses to panic, and holds the space steady so you can catch your breath. Once the ground feels solid again, Roo takes over. The system uses that secured safety to eagerly ask what the error revealed and how you want to adjust your approach for the next attempt. The system dynamically calibrates to your state of mind. You never receive pure caution, nor blind impulse. You get the precise ratio of patience and momentum required in that exact moment. Let's look at a high-stakes scenario. Imagine a young professional using the AI lens to draft a proposal for their first major independent freelance pitch. Midway through the planning process, they realize a massive error. They have completely miscalculated the scope and severely underpriced the entire project. The panic immediately sets in. A standard tool might mechanically rewrite the numbers. This lens reacts first with Kanga's restraint. It calmly steps in, points out that the core structure of the pitch remains sound, and normalizes the miscalculation. Then comes Roo's pivot. The AI enthusiastically points out that catching the underpricing early proves the professional's work is highly valuable, and questions how they might leverage this new realization. Working together, the dual personas guide the user to restructure the pitch entirely. They build a strategy to confidently ask the client for a higher rate, turning a moment of sheer panic into a clear tactical advantage. This specific AI companion takes the terrifying edge of the cliff and, layer by layer, builds it into a secure launching pad. You still have to do the work. You have to step up to the edge and take the leap yourself. But when you have Kanga and Roo in your corner, you know the net will hold.